So today we are the Profit Playbook. We're going to end 2025 like a badass. Welcome everybody for joining us. So I want to go through just a couple housekeeping items. If you have any questions, pop them in the chat. Mike and our lovely Andrea, who is here to help Ron with some questions as well. We will ask those questions as they're answered. This is a conversation. Feel free to ask the questions as you come. A few things I want to chat about is the Pharmacy Profit Summit. If you have not bought your ticket, please go buy your ticket now. You don't want to miss it. We have such great content this year. I am thrilled about it. And, you know, I was just at the Georgia Pharmacy Association last weekend. Great show, great folks. And their show really reminded me, because they have some of the same similar mindset folks, mindset pharmacists that will be there. And so the pharmacists that come, I mean, I'd love to take credit for how great our summit is, but it's really the attendees that come, the attendees that you get to network with, mind share with, really get down to the dirty with friends in our own community that are successful, is really just truly an awesome time to be together. Okay, so let's welcome our friends from RxBLU. I absolutely love this company. I love them personally. I love their product, but we have become friends and they are a new corporate sponsor. So you may have seen a little bit more marketing from them and us trying to educate all of you fabulous pharmacy owners on just what they do. So Ron and Andrea, if you'd like to take it away, introduce yourselves, tell us what you do for the company, and give us an overview of how awesome RxBLU is.
Andrea, ladies first. I'll let you go first.
Okay, no problem. My name is Andrea Sumlin. I'm the sales director here for RxBLU. I've been here for about 3 years. Absolutely love the company. We're a cloud-based system, which I think pharmacy is going there. Everything is going there to cloud-based. So we're here to show you some of the things for cash pharmacies and hybrid pharmacies today. And Ron is an expert in VP in the company, so he's going to show you everything that you need to see today. I have several years, 10 plus years in pharmacy. So our whole team has a lot of experience there in pharmacy. So you're well taken care of here at Blue.
Okay,
Thank you, Andrea. So yeah, I'm Ron Collins. I'm the senior VP. I'm also the implementation director, and I get involved and do a considerable amount of development as well. So, you know, I know the ins and outs of the software. I think, started in pharmacy back around 1990. Yeah, I'm old. So, but got involved actually in independent pharmacy and long-term care, and then found my just a journey that got involved with a computer software company here in California that I was with for a long time. And then, you know, there's a group of us that have known each other for a long time. We said, man, we can build a great product that is going to serve community pharmacy, and we want to make it simple, user friendly, affordable. And so, you know, it's been a great journey. So I'm happy. Thank you so much for letting us share RxBLU. And, you know, we'll on this demo, I'm sure we'll get into the surface area of pricing, and, you know, we down the road, if there's ever time, we could connect, and Andrea is a great person to do the demo of the full RxBLU. But man, we'd love to be able to show you just our pricing specialty, our options that you have, and it's all included. So, you know, whether you're doing cash or you're doing third party or a combination of both, hey, that our software accommodates both. So thank you.
I love that. Andrea? Oh, Andrea went. Okay. So, the key words that I want to really let everybody key into is Ron said customization, and how he is really proud that they customize for each pharmacy. They know, I think RxBLU has done a phenomenal job of really internalizing not every pharmacy is built the same. And so there's different needs, different workflows, different aspects to different pharmacies, even if they're owned by the same pharmacy owner. which we find all the time working with members as we go through their journeys on more profitable pharmacies. So, Ron, why don't we just hop into the demos today?
Yeah.
And really, shame on us for all of this. We're really going to dive into what is absolutely the hottest topic or the hottest strategy in pharmacy is cash only or cash patients, or cash memberships. So Ron today is going to show us how that would look like, how that works, and maybe I can even talk him into giving us a little pricing at the end, which we all know that in sales processes, many companies don't like to give away their pricing. You have to watch the demo and go through all that. But I think that I can, or I've been trying to sweet talk Ron into letting that information flow. So I'm thrilled for all parts that we're going to be going down. I'll let you take it away, Ron.
All right. All right. Well, thank you for that. Yeah. And so I will go ahead and share my screen so you'll see um, RxBLU here. And so there we are. So we have our login screen. Again, just going to keep it on a surface level as far as, the whole functionality. There's a lot of options, like you said, that we do. And, so our support staff, I drive them nuts when I say, oh, we're going to add this new feature and the setting's going to be this, and it's going to be added to all this long list of settings. They're like, you got to be kidding me, right? So, but that's where we do. We love to be able to say, first of all, we coin a phrase, software is never finished. We
Mm,
don't say, hey, it's ready to go, we're done. No, it's always evolving, it's always changing because we're hearing from you what you need to have in your software. So it's not about whether if we can do it, it's how we're going to do it. So, okay.
right.
All right, so I'm going to log in here and I'm going to take you to what we say is our home screen. So if we're talking about cash prescriptions, then the cash prescriptions, we have several different ways that we can do it, and it's all customizable to you. So if you're a pharmacy that says, you know what, I'm just a fill and bill, I do insurance, and submit claims and I do cash and I just want the standard pricing, whatever you want for your cash, and the cash it could be complex or it could be just as simple as can be, then you're talking about just a general um, uh, prescription. So if I were to come along here and do bring up one of my patients, this patient here happens to have in the upper left corner the insurance plan. It has a private plan, which is just our standard cookie cutter plan. And if you don't want to go any further than that, then it just has the basic pricing structure. So if I were to highlight that and begin my prescription, and I'm going to take a bottle here and I'm going to scan it. So here I have a product and I'm continuing to fill my prescription. It's really doing just the basic pricing. So about as basic as can be. We set it, we leave it, we don't touch it, and it's always going to be a formula that you set. So whatever the formula you want in there is what we're going to do. So if I change gears a little bit and say this is a cash RX, maybe a specialty plan, then you would highlight that one. And so as I do this, so right away at the bottom next to the net price, it's high blood pressure. It's a special pricing. We can go into a drug and do multiple things. So if I go into the details of my medication, one thing that it's going to do is you can set, if I click the price plan, and this price plan would overwrite or overrule the standard cash. So, and here you can, again, this is customizable. You could say, you know what, if I'm going to do controls, then I want to set a special price that overrules the standard pricing structure. And so if you're doing cash and it's controls, and if you want to be competitive to your pharmacies in your community, maybe it's the Walgreens and they've got those special prices, then you could match those prices. You could say, hey, we match what they do. And so come to us. And so this is one way you can do it. So, fundamentally it's really just straightforward. It's saying taking, if you want to mark it up, you want to add a fee, what's the basis of cost? Is it your cost or is it AWP? Minimum pricing, all those kind of things. So what's nice about this is when you set these plans to the drugs, then you don't have to worry about, did I quote them the right price? Because it's just going to set it and leave it for the controls for, if it was a controlled item, and I know this one's not. But so this one, if you saw back here, it said HBP. You already know when you're filling a prescription and it's cash that you're diving into your special pricing. So there is HBP, okay? So if I were to come back up here and I'm going to choose a different product and I'm going to do the Norco. So there I did a Norco. Oh, okay. Well, I didn't have the right DEA all test stuff. So I'm going to allow this to continue though. And it gives you a warning that says, hey, if there's all these little things that we have, and then it says you just changed it from one drug to another that's not equivalent. We'll give you a warning about that. So just to help minimize errors, but we'll save that for later. So at this point, as I was talking about having special drug pricing, this now says a quantity price. Well, if I go back into this drug, this compound, yes, there it's set for narcotics. It's a special pricing. But if you want to be competitive for some of your other stores that you're competing with, then you can say when you're dispensing a quantity of 30, set the price and leave it. So if I go to set price, here it says when it's 30, it's 21.50. It's going to set that regardless of whatever the cost is. It's always going to be that price. So not only does a drug have the ability to have a set pricing plan, which is again this narcotics, but if you have a special quantity, then and whatever that quantity is, then it's going to always match that. So if the doctor wrote for 60, then you notice it just changed the narcotics. So it went outside that 30 hot price, hot quantity, and it went back to the standard pricing for narcotics. So by putting this together, you're not going to have to worry about, well, is it pricing the way it should be? Do I want to be competitive? So if the patient comes in and says, I can get it at Walgreens for $30, then you could either say, okay, well, I'll go call, I'll check and make sure, do a price quote. I'm going to set it for $30 when it's a quantity of 60.
Mhm.
So there's different ways that we can do this. And again, this is all customizable. You can set your plans to either use these special pricing or not. This up here, this default pricing plan, private, is not. If you notice, this all goes away. It goes back to the normal pricing in general. So, so that's kind of how the pricing works. And then one other thing is, we're always going to have, maybe you're going to run a patient usage report and you see, you can see your patients that, your high volume patients, the ones that are loyal, the ones that are coming in all the time. You want to
Sure.
treat them accordingly, right? You want to be able to give them a special price. So that's where, let's see here, I brought up this Sharon gal. So this is a loyal patient. I can set it to say this is be careful that, treat them with care, that they're for whatever reason they're a special patient. So then as you're filling these prescriptions, that loyalty plan would be a special price. Maybe it's only like because they're getting a high volume from you or they're getting a lot of their prescriptions, you can just say it's like $5 fee based on acquisition and leave it when it's cash. Okay.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That would especially be great for pharmacy owners that are looking into cash memberships. So
Absolutely.
this could alert them they're a membership. They're a member of our membership. They get $1 off or 25% off or whatever.
You bet.
A free Red Bull with every purchase. Whatever that thing is. That's fantastic. That is very exciting for our members who are looking into cash membership. And one thing that sticks out to me so vividly or so quickly, Ron, is this is great for pharmacies that are dipping their toe into cash. So you don't have to go in and out of other systems. It's all in one place, so you can go between insurance and cash all within the same record. I think that's just phenomenal workflow upgrades than maybe what folks are dealing with now.
Yeah, yeah. And so if you have a thought in mind of how you want to develop your cash pricing marketing, again, you have the loyalty. You can also, run reports to say which ones are my high profitability patients, and you want to make sure that you take care of them. Or if you just want to be, completely across the board say, I'm going to be competitive the best that I can. So I'm going to bring this down, based on your cost. And on the back end, we're always dealing with EDI and from your wholesalers, we're downloading the cost. So as long as you're doing that, your costs are going to be set. We're going to set it and update it when you get your orders. And so you're not going to, money's not walking out the door. You know that you're making a profit on your cash and it's up to you. You're in control of what you want that to be. And again, you can base it on AWP, but I don't see a lot of cash, plans and special pricing based on AWP that's rather inflated as we know. It's a dream compared to acquisition. So yeah, so we give you all these tools. It's all included. And we work with you to say, how do you want to set it up? And we'll work with you. And then so we love how we do our caching and cache pricing.
Yeah, that is fantastic. I had a member who's really stuck in this area in his membership. Member, you know who you are. You should be calling them. We've had this conversation. But I think that this is a not just a tool. I mean, yes, it's a tool, but it really becomes more than a tool. It becomes your entire workflow and your way of life, for lack of better word, to get your toe wet and start the cash only programs in your pharmacy, which
Yeah.
we've seen, by the way, with huge success with some of our members. Mike, would you agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
He would agree.
One of the good things are the transaction fees. There's a lot of software vendors that are charging transactional fees for the pharmacies that are going cash. And the good thing about Blue is there's no transactional adjudication fees for the cash claims.
That's right.
That's the biggest part. And you buried the lead on us, Andrea. I was gonna put that at the end and make people wait around
Sorry.
for it, but that's okay. No, I just repeat that one more time because I think that is wildly unheard of.
Yeah, we like to eat our cake first at RxBLU before we have our meal. So
You
that's
know what? We do things differently too, so that's okay. But I want to say that truly is a disruptor in our industry. Many companies say that they're disruptors and they do things completely different, and they may do some things different, or there might be different nuances. But you taking that stand and not having fees for cash patients is wildly different and definitely a disruptor in our industry.
Right.
I absolutely love that. So repeat that one more time, Andrea, the fees and how those work for cash patients.
So for the cash pharmacies, we don't have any transactional fees. There's a lot of PMS vendors that are charging different fees for the cash-based pharmacies or hybrid pharmacies. So there's no adjudication, no transactional fees for any cash transactions or cash patients.
That's fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic. Does anybody have any questions this far along? Any of our friends on here? Everybody's quiet today. I think they're just taking it all in. Ron, did you have another example for us?
Yeah, I mean, so the first patient that I brought up as an example, that was just our standard third party. So I mean, you could also do a combination. And if I were to go back to price, scale price, you can set up, just again, the standard price. You can set up multiple ones depending on what your use case is. You could also come in here and you could also do, add the loyalty. So we're just saying, hey, it's the choice is yours if you want to set up a different type of plan per patient, if you want to do different plans for drugs, different therapies and so forth. A lot of big thing these days is the ED type of medication. So you can set up a pricing structure for cash for that. And then also what's really great is those kind of products that are not covered in general. You can have those ready to go. So you can say, look, your insurance won't cover this. we can give it to you at this price. And then, so again, you can give those kind of pricings to them at that point and be rest assured that you've already got that set based on the therapy, or the class that the drug is, if you set that up for that drug. So yeah, all in all, I mean, gosh, we just do our standard pricing. We do a hybrid, and then of course loyalty, and then those are exclusive to that. So never is there a chance of any one of those special pricing to be bled over or carried over to a third party, because you want the third party to be straight and normal, right? It's
Right.
AWP plus this fee. So we keep them separate so you're safe from having any of that, crossover into each other.
What is the best way to get a hold of you guys? How to, like, I am sold. I am convinced. I'm signing on the dotted line. And oh, by the way, we should really hit on this. The roadmap that you all have for switching and how fast and non-complicated and testing with their data, not fake outside data, is I think really smart. So first of all, we want to do a demo with Andrea. Is that correct? If you truly want to see the power that RxBLU can add to your pharmacy, is that
Yes,
correct?
well, you
Okay.
definitely want, you can go on the website and rxblue.com. You can go ahead and schedule a demo or schedule a consult, and we'll reach out. I'll reach out to you from there, and we'll get a demo time set up for you to do a full demo.
That'll also be in our replay tomorrow. Is Andrea's link and how to just book straight with her. No need to contact me unless you have questions. Of course, you can contact me, but you'll book straight with Andrea. And Andrea or Ron, give us just a snapshot of how easy it is, or really the workflow and the dedicated time that you've taken to shorten the span for a switch.
So what we'll do, as far as the setup goes, I mean, it is as simple as can be. We remote in and we get you set up. We do some things on the back end, techies kind of stuff. But when we talk about data, that is so important that we get it that it's right. So we very much invest in the time that it takes. And so what we'll do is, we'll do the conversion. You'll reach out. We'll get you connected with a conversion company, and then the data gets converted and it comes into our server, which is your server too. And then you'll be able to see your data in RxBLU, and that's where we do the training. And the purpose of that is two. One is, so it's nothing going to be crazy when you go live with us. It's like you're already familiar with what the patients look like, the drugs and the SIGs and the prescriptions profiles and so forth. So you're going to be familiar with it. There's no curveballs that's going to come down the road. But also it verifies, and we want you to, look at the data. Is the patient, the drug, the address, phone number, cell phone, is the SIG quantity, written quantity, all that kind of stuff, is it accurate? And so once it's ready to go and you feel comfortable, and we've tested the different things out, and again, all this stuff can be remote, and it's just that simple. Then when you're ready to go and we all agree, then we have another data pool, and we determine the go live date, and you're ready to go. So your staff is trained, they're familiar. It's not going to be much different other than a little bit more current data than what you started with when you did the testing. So it's just a simple switch. It really is. So
I love that. I love that. You explain things so well, Ron. I've said this before. When I talk to new companies or learn about some of our partners more in depth, once I really get it, I usually will message Lisa and say something along the lines of, "Even I understand what they're talking about." And you have definitely explained RxBLU to me in such a way that you're not speaking another language, that the switch, that the pricing structure, that all of that truly is so understandable that even Heather Haro can understand it. And I absolutely love that about all of you. Your whole team is really that way. It's kind of company culture there, to speak in understandable terms, and I absolutely love that. Do we have any questions from our friends? Any questions?
And I'm sorry to cut you off. One
No,
big thing
go ahead.
that we hear time and time again is customer service. Maybe it's taking a long time to get a call back, or you're not getting the answers, or you're asking for a request of a program and it's taking a long time and so forth. You know, you said it earlier. I mean, we're like a family here, and we care about all of us together as a team, but then we also extend that to the customer. We hear what they're wanting. I got a call from a guy down in Southern California today, and he says, "I need to do this kind of file export. I need to do this. I need to do this, and how soon can we do it?" And I said, "Well, let me look into it. I hear that it's urgent, so let me do that." And it's like, honestly, it's almost done, and that was in less than a day. So is he going to get this version of a special change very quickly because it's urgent to him? Yeah, because I hear that it's urgent and he needs to have it done. And so we're always trying our best to not only return calls, it's also to answer the questions. It's also to get prior or proper training, and it's building a relationship. That's how we look at it, coming into our family and being part of our family. So.
I absolutely love that. And I've found that to be true as working as a partner with you all as well. So we did get a question. Did you discuss pricing per month? I may have missed that. We didn't, but I know that Andrea has worked hard on this and has some pricing guidelines that she wants to share.
So Andrea, do you want to share? I mean, I do have the
No, you
pricing
can
sheet.
share, Ron.
Okay, so
Go
I
ahead.
will
Sorry.
minimize this. I hope I got the right one. So, and Andrea, I'll let you take this on. Why this is taking a long time. There we go.
Okay, so these are just three of our most popular packages on the screen. We have RxBLU startup. Sometimes we have pharmacies that come and say, "Hey, I just need PMS, POS. I need to start." We give them the RxBLU startup. With RxBLU, there's very minimal hardware, so the hardware that you have right now, you can still use. We try to make things work, so that's a really good thing. No server, none of the things you need for on-premises software. So the first one would be our RxBLU Wave, which is for some of our larger pharmacies that are doing a lot. We have the RxBLU Basic Plus. Basic Plus is usually my pharmacies that are doing shipping, delivery. They need click to pay. They need inbound, outbound fax, different things of that sort. We do have a la carte where we build systems custom. If you just want the RxBLU startup and you just need delivery, we can definitely build a packet for that. But these are most of the three main packets that our customers are usually choosing from here.
That is fantastic. I will say that this is number one. Thank you guys for sharing pricing. There's lots of companies that won't just outwardly share pricing, so I think that's pretty special. Coming from my thousands of dollars in sales training, everything in me tells me don't do that. But I, on the other side, working with the members and the pharmacy owners, I absolutely love that, and how refreshing. Just how absolutely refreshing. Although
Heather, can I add on to that?
Yeah, and this is Vince. He is the CEO of RxBLU. He's been dying to hop in, so we promoted him.
No, not dying. And I have to say that being from Cleveland, I lost a little credit on for you on the call because you're a Bengals fan, but we can talk about that offline.
Yes.
But I did want to talk about pricing, and if you notice, like the RxBLU startup price, that's $320 a month, and that includes claim adjudication standard, or if it's cash. So we're not charging the dollar or more that a lot of others in the industry are charging. We don't think that that's fair. And our continued philosophy is, we want to build partnerships that drive value. As Ron mentioned, software is never finished. And I always tell people that we want to make this software your own. You use it every day. We don't. So if there's things that you need, things we can change, we'd be happy to do so.
Yeah, that's really where I encourage folks to have a demo. Just see for yourself. And I do know this about you guys. if it's not a good fit, no hard feelings. If it is a good fit, they will do everything in their power to absolutely build a system that is perfect for your pharmacy, not Heather's pharmacy in California, but your pharmacy in wherever in the middle of wherever in whatever state you're in, that fits your workflow, your types of patients, the things that you really need in your pharmacy. Now, one other question we got is, what is the difference between the bigger number and the smaller number? So the 320 slash the 4,500 number.
So the bigger package, the bigger RxBLU Wave package, it just has a little bit more functionality. If you look to the left side, it's some of the components we have that make up a system. So we have our own IVR, we have a Connect Care LTC portal, we have compounder, delivery, shipping, telepharmacy, and some other things, some robotic interfaces and training and setup. So for the packages where you see the check marks, the higher packages come with more of the modules for the software, and to your RxBLU startup, which is your PMS and POS.
Sure, yeah. But the 4,500, is that a startup fee or a
one time?
Yeah. One time.
Okay. Yeah. So those are one-time startup fees. And then one more question is, how much is the compounder? I'm assuming module. Christine, tell me if I'm not getting that right. But how much is the compounder, and how does it integrate with scales, heating plates, etc.?
So with the compounder, we have a lot of different compounding pharmacies doing things different way. And Christine, I would love to speak with you about your compounding needs. Our compounder does integrate with scales. We just have different needs for compounder. You might not need the compounder with the compounding that you're doing right now. So I would love to talk to you about that. And the compounder we do is separate pricing because not a lot of the pharmacies need it right off the bat. So if you give me an email or send your information, I can give you a phone call and we can assess your needs for compounding.
That is fantastic.
I hope that answers it. I'm sorry.
She gave us her email. I will pass that along. And thank you, Christine. Wow. So this has been a lot of information. We kind of drank through the water hose here on all of your awesomeness, which I love. It's kind of every conversation that Vince and I have. Vince and I speak pretty often, and not only about their awesome platform, but Vince and I are both marketing nerds, and so we truly like to geek out on all things marketing. He speaks, marketing is my love language, and he definitely speaks it. So that's fantastic. Any other questions? I don't want to harp on this too much, but call and get a demo. Book that 15-minute call, that consult, that demo with Andrea. She is uber smart in not just the software, but in the pharmacy industry. She's been there. She's been in your shoes. So you can throw a problem at her and she can give you, real world advice, as opposed to just a salesperson, who's been taught on the software and has no clue about pharmacy. So I love that so much. Thank you guys for coming. I super appreciate you getting on and chatting and truly being so open with your pricing, being so open on, giving away the cash fees is just a phenomenal help to pharmacies, and they could use all of the help that they can get. Now, to wrap up this webinar, which I just realized is very much a Wacky Wednesday webinar, much like the NFL games on Sunday. I think maybe that voodoo is just going through the rest of the week for anything related to NFL. So say your prayers tonight. Let's get the voodoo off for next week's NFL. I do want to mention that, again, go get your tickets to the Pharmacy Profit Summit. We go out and purposely I go out and search for innovation, new products, new services of partners just like RxBLU to come in and really put you guys in front of and give you those 2 days of opportunity to really dive deep with them, to chat with them. Our exhibitors at our summit has all of the fun candy and pin giveaways and all of that, but truly the conversations that have on the exhibitor floor are just outstanding and can help you even if you don't use those exhibitors or not. We have some awesome exhibitors, sales teams, innovation teams throughout our industry, and it's a great time to get in front of them. Also, I talked about this in our first week. We're now in our third week of our NFL series, and Dr. Lisa Faast, Miss Lisa, has given me and the rest of our team a task to get to 1,000 members by the end of November. Now, what in the world does that mean for all of you, and why should you care? Number one, it creates a bigger pool of fantastic pharmacy owners to pull from, to network from on a daily basis, not just at events. We have our communities that folks can go in and chat with. And truly, we are building an absolute library. Our goal is to have the biggest member-only library for specials, perks, discounts for our members. We want our member to truly be a paid for member, membership, something that you are receiving way more value and even cash flow, tangible results each month, as opposed to just paying for the membership. That is truly our goal. That's truly what we strive for every day. And please remember, and email me if you have any questions at all about this. The level of entry into our membership is $100. And I guarantee you right now that folks that are taking advantage of our member only discounts, particularly the ones with Olympia and some other manufacturers or wholesalers, are getting that money back instantly. So go join, become a member. And hey, there is a money back guarantee. If you don't like us, if you found no value, if my ranting and raving about football just gets on your ever-loving nerves and you can't take it anymore, we will give you your money back. We don't want your money if you don't want us to have your money. So there's that. Thank you guys again so much for coming on. I will put all of the contact information for RxBLU in our replay. And if you're watching this on YouTube, it's down there in the show notes as well. I can't wait to see you all next week. RxBLU, thank you all for coming. Any last words?
Heather, we so appreciate you, and we're so thankful for you and Lisa, that you're supporting independent pharmacy. It's a tough road in some cases, or many cases, and so we need groups like you. We need people on our team to just make pharmacy flourish. The independent pharmacy. We need team members like you. Thank you so much.
That's fantastic. Have a good rest of your Wacky Wednesday, everybody. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye all.
Bye-bye.